5 easy techniques to manage negative thoughts when feeling depressed. Hey there, beautiful minds. Welcome to Beyond the Blues. I'm your host, and today we're diving into a topic that's close to my heart: managing those pesky negative thoughts when depression starts creeping in. Now, I know firsthand how overwhelming and exhausting it can be when your mind feels like it's working against you. But here's the thing: we have more power over our thoughts than we often realize. So, let's explore 5 easy techniques that can help us regain control and find a bit of peace in the storm. 1. The thought-stopping technique. First up, we have the thought-stopping technique. This one's pretty straightforward, but don't let its simplicity fool you. It can be incredibly effective. Here's how it works. When you notice a negative thought popping into your head, imagine a big, red stop sign. You can even say "stop" out loud if you're in a place where you feel comfortable doing so. This interrupts the thought pattern and gives you a chance to redirect your focus. I remember when I first tried this technique. I was in a pretty low place, constantly replaying my perceived failures in my head. But every time I pictured that stop sign, it was like hitting a mental reset button. It didn't make the thoughts disappear completely, but it gave me a moment of clarity to challenge them. 2. Cognitive restructuring. Next up is cognitive restructuring. Now, I know that sounds like some fancy psychological term, but it's really just a method of identifying and challenging our negative thoughts. Start by recognizing the negative thought. Let's say it's something like, "I'm a failure." Now ask yourself, is this thought based on facts or feelings? What evidence do I have to support or refute this thought? Often we'll find that these thoughts are based more on our emotions than on reality. Maybe you made a mistake at work, but does that really make you a failure? Probably not. By examining our thoughts critically, we can start to see them for what they are: just thoughts, not facts. 3. The worry time technique. Our third technique is something called the worry time technique. This one's particularly helpful if you find yourself constantly preoccupied with anxious or depressive thoughts throughout the day. Here's how it works. Set aside a specific time each day, let's say 15 minutes, as your designated worry time. During the rest of the day, when a worrying thought comes up, make a note of it and tell yourself you'll think about it during your worry time. When your worry time arrives, sit down and go through your list. You might find that some of the things you were worried about earlier don't seem as important now. For the worries that are still bothering you, use this time to problem solve or practice some of the other techniques we're discussing today. I've found this technique to be incredibly liberating. It helps me compartmentalize my worries and prevents them from taking over my entire day. 4. Mindfulness meditation. Our fourth technique is mindfulness meditation. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Meditation? That's not for me. But hear me out. Mindfulness isn't about emptying your mind of all thoughts. It's about observing your thoughts without judgment. It's like sitting on a riverbank, watching leaves float by on the water. The leaves are your thoughts. You see them, acknowledge them, but you don't jump in after them. Start with just 5 minutes a day. Find a quiet spot, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. When thoughts come up, and they will, simply notice them and gently bring your attention back to your breathing. This practice has been a game changer for me. It's helped me create some distance between myself and my thoughts, making it easier to see them for what they are, just mental events, not absolute truths. 5. Gratitude journaling. Our final technique for today is gratitude journaling. This one's all about shifting our focus from what's going wrong to what's going right in our lives. Every day, try to write down 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. It could be as simple as a warm cup of coffee or a kind word from a stranger. When I first started this practice, I'll admit it felt a bit forced. But as I stuck with it, I found myself naturally starting to notice more positive things throughout my day. It didn't make my problems disappear, but it did help balance out my perspective. Now, I want to emphasize something important here. These techniques aren't magic bullets. They take practice, and they might not work perfectly every time. That's okay. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Thank you for tuning in to Beyond the Blues. If you found this helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. And remember, no matter how dark things might seem, there's always a path forward. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.